Well, hello, this is a video about this Newqida Titanic model which sank on its maiden voyage and it's in all sorts of trouble. Maybe I'll throw to some footage of how this magnificent ship went down. I've got to admit, it did entertain my son. I got a giggle as well. It was quite realistic in the way this vessel went to the bottom of the pool. It's the sort of thing you can't keep your eyes off. It's also a reminder that when things go wrong with ships and water gets into certain areas, the ship can go down really fast. This is the day after I did the review. We did the battle boats up in the pool, then we did a bit of a wave test, and that sank the Titanic. But my review is becoming quite sensitive because I talk about eBay prices. In the end, the price I paid for this model was a lot better than what people were selling it on eBay for. So as always, I say buyer beware. I'll come in and connect the recharged battery. Titanic seems to have a mind of its own now. Listen to that sound. Okay, we're just having a bit of a spasm moment at the moment. The propeller on this side is driving, but nothing else is. The best way I can describe it is it has spasms of action, which sort of mean nothing, and I think that's because it's got water inside in the wrong spots. If I do try to turn it on, there I can get the deck illumination and the funnels will light up. I'm not sure whether you can see it there. Those lights are on. If I try the remote control, I get absolutely no control from the propellers and no rudder control. Yes, it's very random indeed. I do notice that some of the bollards can be removed and there is a little Phillips head screw hiding down inside there. And it's going to be a case of me finding all the areas where the hidden screws are. I'm pretty sure there are some lurking at the bottom of this battery area here. Yeah, there's two more screws down there. One problem I've got is trying to work out where the hidden screws are. Not everything reveals a screw. Yes, it's having me look at all different parts to try and find out where a screw is. It's becoming quite tricky. And I've got to try and work out where the vessel actually splits and how to get this top part off. Yeah, I'm looking for little lever points and all sorts of things, just seeing what it's going to give here. Making horrible plasticky sounds and bits are coming off. It's actually proving to be quite difficult to find out where it comes apart at. I'm really curious to see the insides of this because it might justify some of the things I said in the initial review. I think part of the secret is to remove this dressing along the side here. If I get something in there to wedge it out. Ooh, hear that sound? That's the sound of success, I hope. Okay, I think I've got that piece off there. And that may reveal to us what's going on along this top piece. Sort of curious. I noticed there's extra details in there that I never saw before. Look at that in that deck there. But what I'm noticing is that this whole top piece is just one giant piece of plastic. I thought there would have been a separation area, especially up here, but I can't see that. Maybe there's more screws hidden behind these bollards. Oh, there's another screw there. Okay. Pulling this off here, I'm starting to see hopefully how this works. And what was a bit strange up the front here, these bollards here are just like, well, they're not screws behind here, but the cranes here are actually hiding screws. If I just pop this off, there is a screw sneakily hidden down there. Yes, bollards and cranes. It's amazing what lurks beneath. Maybe I can get rid of this bit of detailing I hate. If I got some proper pinstriping that cars use, I think it's going to be far better than that transparent tape. For all I know, it could be this tape that's holding the Titanic together. Anything's possible. I've just tried to crack it. There are still things here giving resistance. I think these cranes here are holding some little secrets underneath. Okay, more hidden screws in there. Well, there were screws hidden there, and I've just found some more hidden under here as well. Ooh, okay, so the cranes really are a hidey hole of secret screw activity. Okay, this model is starting to reveal its secrets. I'm slowly getting there. Now I can peek inside and I might be able to see where there's more screws hanging up. There's still something hanging up at the front here. I can't get the front split and I'm pulling things off, hoping to find screws and things. But so often I pull something off and it just reveals, well, that, okay. Those bollards there, I can't get them up. Maybe I've got to drill this out to find out what's going on underneath there. Yeah, pulling off this side bit really let me understand where the split is on this model. Let me just drill this out. I did a pilot hole first and I'll come on into a bigger drill, nice and slow. Don't want to go maniac. And yes, this may be the secret to getting the front opened up. Those bollards are really well glued in. It's the same on this side as well. These bollards, I tried to get them out and I mangled them. Now I'm drilling them out. It's nice and slow with a pilot first. And then a larger drill bit. Trying not to mangle stuff along the way. Which is easier said than done. Okay. With that bollard free, I can get that screw out. Well, I think I've nearly got it. There's just one screw right at the front hanging in. So much for the repair I did there on the review, hey? Just try and get this started here. Oh yeah, that's a screw hole. And coming in with a bigger drill. What's weird is some of these things were really glued in, others were not. Strange, eh? Okay. And I'm pretty sure that this is the last screw. Oh, here it snapped then, you beauty. Okay, and I should be able to split the hole. I'll just point out the screw pattern in case you've got to do this. One right at the front here. There's another two there which were hidden under cranes. There were two there hidden under bollards. Tracking back, there were two down in the battery area there. There were two here hidden behind bollards. There were another two here hidden under cranes. Another two hidden under cranes there, and one there hidden under, I've forgotten what now, might have been a bollard. And now I'll be able to open it up nice and easily and we can see exactly what we're dealing with inside. Okay, I'm looking at the stern of the vessel, the back of the vessel. There's a servo there that goes down to the rudder. There is one of the propeller tubes there, electric motor underneath the servo. The other two electric motors are here. There are weights here which have been wrapped up in plastic, which is a bit strange. Okay, weight down there as well. Coming up here, that's the lead out from the battery pack. I can only assume that this is the remote control in here, the circuit board in here, which has got, well, let's just say, very dubious sort of elastic going on. I don't think that's been waterproofed correctly. In fact, I'm sure of it. Underneath that is more weights which have been wrapped in plastic. I believe that's the antenna or something there, and this lead here goes up to the on-off switch. Now what I see going on down there, I certainly stand by what I said in the review of this model. This is no different to that Russian aircraft carrier, no different at all, and I picked that up for $25. I'll come in and open up this electronics package here because I believe this is the root of the problem right now. Okay, I've got that box free. There are some clips at the end here which will hopefully open it up for me. A bit hard to do holding a camera. And from what I can see, this box is basically full of water. Can you see the water splashing around down there? Not nice at all. Well, there's one thing about going underwater. What you want to have happen is water to escape. And I think that's the problem with this box. Is basically, yeah, it's a sealed up box. So if water ever gets in, well, it's just going to fill up and it's got nowhere to go. This circuit board here has got a screw attaching it to this box. I'll just free the circuit board away from this box. I do have to laugh here because, as you can see, the box has actually got a seal around there, so they've made an effort to keep this watertight, but as I showed before, the elastic on the top here was just totally insufficient. Once this went under, the water just would have sucked into there super fast, and once it was in there, well, it had nowhere to go. You know, there's no holes for drainage or anything. Let's take a look at this circuit board. Well, that there is the more difficult side to see. As best as I can show it, you can see some numbers there. Maybe that means something to some of my audience. And this here is the other side. And from what I can see, this has been laying in water here just for a very short time. We're starting to get some rusting going on. Well, I do have a plan of attack. I'm going to use compressed air to get rid of some of the water here. You probably won't hear a thing. Can't talk over compressed air. I've given that a very, very extensive blow of air for a long time. You wouldn't have seen it all, but what I'm going to do next is see if I can power it up, put the battery in and turn the remote control on. Okay, I've connected the battery up there. I'll turn it on. I can just see one of the little lights there telling me that it's on there. Let me turn the remote control on, see if I've got anything. although there are signs of trouble. There's shivering going on every now and then with the rudder. And I also noticed that the propellers, well, they're not, that's forward, all three should be going there. Yeah, so it's missing some forward action. I've got some electronic circuit board cleaner. I'll let you know this, electronics isn't my strong card. I will just give the Devo there a spray of this stuff. It may help it. It's either going to help it or set it on fire, one or the other. And I'm also going to spray this board. Okay, the other side as well. So I've got a problem down here with the propulsion. If I do reverse, I've only got one motor working, only this one's working. If I go forward, all I've got going is that middle motor there. For some reason, under the forward stick, I'm not getting any power to these motors. That's me thinking it's really a problem related back to the circuit board. Mind you, I don't know anything about this. I wonder whether a spray of WD-40 is going to sort something out or make things worse. This could make or break it. I'm not going to put much on, just a bit on the other side. And also give the motors there a bit of a spray of WD-40. That's strange, I'm getting smoke from this here now. Maybe I should blow that off. I think it's that thing there. Can you see the smoke rising up from that board? Don't like it when things are smoking. The propellers haven't done anything different. I think putting the WD-40 on that was a mistake. I don't like the fact there's a component smoking there. I might just apply a bit of a heat gun to this to see if I can completely dry this out. Just got a heat gun. I'm not going to get too close and get it too hot because it's all soldered up. There was a YouTuber that on the other video said, oh, you hit it with WD-40 and it fixes everything. Don't think it did this time. Well, I've sort of hit a bit of a stumble here. You're probably wondering, is that motor seized? No, it's free spinning. Okay, I just can't get these to perform in forward motion. All three motors should work on a forward stick. Maybe if I track this wiring back here to the circuit board, it might tell me something. Okay, I'm just manipulating the wires that go to the motor that's been doing nothing. You can see where it's pulling through there. So it is these two wires here. That one there and that one there. Doing simple for me. Now what they're connected to is that on the other side. Because I know nothing about electronics, I don't know what they do, but I've got a funny feeling these could be the root of the problem. Well, I think the most sensible thing for me to do at the moment, because I've sort of come to a grinding halt, is upload this video to YouTube and get some people talking about the circuit board and what is possibly the next best step. Please don't say throw it in the bin. My son would hate to hear that because he loves this model ship. It might be one of those things, I'll come back to this tomorrow and it'll all start working. Sometimes you get lucky like this, but all I'm getting is the rudder, which is nice, and if I go forward stick, I'm just getting the middle motor, which you can't really see, it's down there, right in the middle there, and if I pull stick backwards, all I get is one motor there. Pulling forward stick should operate all three motors, but it's only operating one. I have got a bit of sun today. Maybe I'll just go and sit outside in the sun. Sometimes that does wonders as well with things like this. But I am sort of surprised and not surprised with what I've found going on inside this Titanic. Yes, I have pulled the battery back, and I will just say a few things about this ship here versus that train over there. Let me just say one thing here about this Titanic model and why I had a bit of confidence with it when I purchased it. I did notice it was Newqida. Okay, I've had Newqida stuff before. And yes, if I turn this pamphlet over, we get to see some more information who made this model. I see Newqida.com there, but I also see this. NQD Toy Factory Company Limited. I'm not exactly sure how the Newqida company works. Often there can be a root company and many other companies make things for the root company. But when I looked inside this Titanic and on top, I tell you what, I'm not really that happy with what I see, considering I've had Newqida stuff before. That was really impressive. Let me pull Titanic aside and I'll show you what I had before. Oh yeah, going back sometime on my YouTube channel, went out and purchased this quite remarkable G Scale train. It's basically a rip-off of an LGB model. Let me pull this forward and let's be reminded of how glorious this model is. This here was the remote that came with that train. Sure, you know, it's the sort of cheap and nasty stuff. Had buttons on it. Hey, it did the job, okay? I think it's just a couple of rungs up than what came with the Titanic model. But the model here was completely stunning, I thought. There's nothing wrong with this. We had it out in the garden for some time. Haven't played with it for a while. And it was just the detailing on it and the way it was finished off. Which to me, well, it's nothing like what I see in that Titanic model. And sure enough, directly under that model you can see the Newqida logo. And when I saw Newqida on Titanic, like I said before, I had an element of confidence. I should actually get this up and running again. It's a whole ton of toy train fun. And it also came with some beautiful rolling stock as well. And the way this was finished off, again, to me, it's nothing like Titanic. And under that carriage, on that detailing there, is also the Newqida sign. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, sure, there is one version of sort of cheap and nasty stuff from China, which is actually, you know, half decent. And you sort of get what you pay for. And then again, there is the other style of stuff. And the best thing about that Newqida train there was, if you liked the feel of that, you may easily go and jump into proper G Scale railway. You had a good experience if you went out and purchased that train. Just let me drag Titanic back here, because it has me curious, did I ever see Newqida on this model? Now I've opened it up everywhere and had a good look around. You know what, I'll be quite honest here, I don't think I've seen the wording Newqida, and that is actually starting to worry me. Maybe I'm dealing with sort of a very strange sort of knockoff of a knockoff, if that makes any sort of sense. I mean, hopefully my audience is going to know something about this. I'm absolutely certain I have not seen the word Newqida anywhere on this model. And there is one last thing about this model which is very disturbing, and it may seep into a conspiracy theory about this vessel and the fact that it may not even be Titanic. If I crawl along to the bow of the vessel here, this model here is missing something that most of the models on eBay show. My model here has no sign of the word Titanic on the bow. So are we dealing with the Olympic with this model? Is this model a knockoff? Is this model really from Newqida? On this model here, the Titanic name should be stripped in roughly around there. And I say that because on this picture here, you can just see the word Titanic just there where my finger is. On that very deep and thought-provoking idea, I'd better leave this video before I get into any more trouble. I found this book to be a fantastic little resource to get my head around how Titanic looked compared to the model I've got. It's on Amazon. I'll put the link to the book on Amazon. It's actually really cheap. I picked it up cheap in a bookstore in Sydney. But I just found it to be a fantastic book to take you back in time and remember this magnificent ship, which is Titanic.